Alright, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Now, before we get to the video, I wanted to give a huge thank you to everyone that helped me reach 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. Not even kidding, I never even thought I would get to like 100, let alone 1,000, you know? I kind of started this because like I needed a hobby in my life. So it's just something I love to do, and knowing that there's so many people that enjoy what I do as well, it feels surreal, and I'm very grateful for all of you. So yeah, thanks again, and if you're not subscribed yet, you totally should be. All right, now that that's out of the way, let's get miserable. If you've been with the channel for a while, you know I like to cover a variety of topics. You know, making fun of fundy Christians, talking about my weird nerdy interests, revisiting the weird things I've watched as a kid. But there is one genre that's been pretty consistent with my channel, and that's making fun of a weird guy. I realize I kind of do that a lot, and I'm sorry, but it's just so easy. It's kind of like you're asking me to either dive off that 30-foot high platform or go play in the 2-foot area where there's a water mushroom. One of them is so much easier and way more fun. But the person we're talking about today is actually not a complete stranger. In fact, you might remember him from a certain hood classic.
So every morning I'll have my daily dose of vitamins, and I'll make a couple of these health drinks.
Camus powder? Oh, dude, you're drinking cum powder? Oh! Ew! Dude! What the fuck?
I kind of have this thing where I go back and watch Cody and Noel's That's Cringe videos a lot because they kind of cure my mental health problems I'm having in the moment. But I recently rewatched it and I realized it's been 5 years since that came out. I don't like that fact at all. Once I realized how long it's been, I had kind of wondered what Dre Drexler had been up to. So I did what any rational human being would do, where I got on TikTok, I looked up his name, and now I'm recording. So, you know, I figured he would still be one of those like routine lifestyle guys, but nothing could have possibly prepared me for the shit I was about to hear. So today we're going to pay a visit to Dre Drexler. Do we know if that's his real name or not? Because like I couldn't find anything, but if that's real, that's not fair at all. Like with my name, I got stuck with a 90s sitcom character, but he gets to sound like a James Bond villain. Now, like I said, I found his TikTok first, and I want to show you the very first video he has pinned on there.
3 toxic masculine traits that girls actually crave.
Oh yeah. Now before he says anything, I want to like say this real quick. My brain cannot comprehend that this is the same person that made this. I don't know if it's just like the new hairstyle or like the facial hair. I don't know what it is. There's something that my brain cannot process that this is like the same person. Like this one is Dre Drexler, and this is just like a normal guy. Like, this is an epic morning routine guy, and this is just the guy you stand behind in line at the gas station.
Number 1, stoicism. Now, I'm not saying to be completely emotionless, but as a man, you gotta keep your composure. Learn how to keep all your energy levels down in your nuts. Think of a mountain. Even in the strongest storm, it's grounded, immovable.
Imagine having to keep all your energy down in your nuts when you need to keep your composure. Look, Dre, I'm sorry, but I have to go. I can't do this anymore. I've really tried everything, but I'm sick of you always getting G Fuel powder in our bed, and it's just getting to be too much. Are you okay? Yeah, I'm fine. It's okay. Also, if we could define stoicism real quick.
Stoicism, the endurance of pain or hardship, without the display of feelings and without complaint.
I'm pretty sure you can still be like calm and keep your composure while showing emotion. I think if that's what you're trying to say, then you shouldn't use the word stoicism. You know, what do I know? I only have 1,000 subscribers, so.
Number 2, assertiveness. Sometimes as a man, you'll need to be strong enough to lay your foot down and say, you know what? No, this isn't healthy for our relationship.
Yeah, that's right, boys. Sometimes you gotta lay the law down on your woman, right? She doesn't think she has to cook you dinner that night, you put your foot down and let her know who's boss. Now, yeah, when it comes to like setting boundaries and, you know, wanting to make sure your well-being is intact in a relationship, you do want to be assertive and put your foot down in that way. But I'm sure most of the guys that watch these videos think that like a woman having a personality is, you know, unhealthy for the relationship.
Number 3, now culture always says women need to be independent, that they need to be a boss, you know what, and they get women thinking things like, you know what, I can pay for my own meal. I say stick to tradition. It's never failed us, man.
My favorite part is how he's all like, you know, women these days listen to society and think that they can do whatever they want and, you know, get women empowerment ideas in their head, but then like also won't say the word bitch. I know this comparison is a really big stretch, but it kind of makes me think of like all the times that I've experienced racism with like the politically correct terms, you know? Like, sure, you didn't say like the big mean word that was gonna make them really upset, but you still said some pretty heinous shit about them.
Don't be a soy boy. Always pay for your girl's meal.
Look, if you want to pick up the check on the first date, it is a very nice gesture, but also don't be weird about it. Oh yeah, you can split the check. No need, m'lady. Allow me to do you the favor of lifting the burden of having to pay your own hard-earned money for this meal and use it elsewhere to your heart's content. Okay, thank you. I still want to go home after this. What? Why? I love that in the caption for this video, he says, and yes, according to Google, these are considered toxic. Lol. Yeah, man, they are. Oh, what? It's toxic to not show emotion now? Okay. Now, after hearing this strong piece of wisdom, I knew I just had to have more. So now we're going to learn how to stand out as a high-value man.
What makes a man stand out in modern relationships? Keeping traditional values. Basically going against everything that modern culture tells you that you should do. Instead of the focus being to sleep with her the first date, approach your father and ask for his permission to even date.
It's so funny that he'll start saying something and you think you're about to agree with him and then he just throws a curveball out of nowhere. Now look, don't try to sleep with somebody on the first date, okay? You have to have more respect for her than that. So what you need to do is go to her father and present him with a healthy cow, one that will be bountiful and feed the family for weeks to come. He will see the blessing you have given him and then give you a blessing back. And don't worry about whether the daughter even had any interest in you in the first place, because he already said it's fine, so she's your property now.
But Dre, that's gonna be so hard to find a girl that shares the same values as me. Oh well, hey, Bible says it's better to live alone in a desert than to be with a contentious woman. So stay on your path, be okay with being single, reject the hoes.
Dre, I don't think you can drop a Bible verse and then say reject the hoes within like 10 seconds of each other. I also feel like calling a woman a contentious hoe is worse than calling her a bitch. I'm just trying to pay for your meal to coerce you into liking me even though I have no desirable traits, and you're kind of being contentious right now. Dre also has a list of the types of women to avoid when you're dating, which I'm sure is going to be completely normal and rational and not disgusting in the slightest, right?
Here's 4 types of women to avoid while dating.
What the fuck was that gif? Huh? Number 1, if she eats hot dogs. That means she's okay having other meat in her mouth.
1, the girl who disrespects her father. If she's got no honor for her dad, you really think she's gonna honor you?
What is it with this guy and women's fathers? Hey, you need to respect that man. He works hard day in and day out for you and your family. Always making sure food is on the table with those big, strong hands of his. Yeah, before you date her, you need to ask the father for permission because there is a chance that dad might be hotter than she is.
Number 2, the party girl. She's wild. All the dudes say she's a good time. Number 3, the girl who's unequally yoked with you, meaning she's got drastically different views and values than you.
Number 3 on this list is trying to date someone that has different morals and conflicting beliefs than you, which I do agree with. That's not the best idea. So far we have 2 weird suggestions and one that actually kind of makes sense. So which one do you think 4 is going to be?
Number 4, the girl with the high body count.
You need to leave!
Oh, but Dre, you can't judge someone for their past. Yeah, I can actually. Sometimes in life, you do gotta judge a certain situation or person and ask yourself, hey, is this person 100% safe to allow into my life? I mean, I'm sure you wouldn't raise kids in a kingdom that's been conquered 50 times over, right? So why would you be with the girl? You get it.
I love how we tried to trail off his thought like that was a normal thing to say out loud. Like, no, I think I just want to hear you come out and say what you have to say. If she's sexually active, that means she thinks for herself and she's unfit to be my future partner. That's why I'll date her dad instead. So why do these guys always compare women to like things? In every analogy they try to use to make their point make sense, it's always like, well, like if you want a car, do you want the used one or do you want the brand new one? Like, I don't know, man. I'm not trying to conflate my relationship issues to cars. He also kind of makes it sound like a woman who maybe has like a contentious, promiscuous past is incapable of like being able to change their mind. Like what happens if you're seeing someone and things are going great and then out of nowhere you find out, hey, maybe she used to be one of those party girls you're talking about. Dre in his own videos talks about like things in his past that he's not proud of, but it's clearly something he moved past because he didn't like it, so he, changed it. But obviously women are incapable of doing the same because that would mean them having a personality. Now after getting these short clips of wisdom, I decided that I needed something more long form, so I went on over to his YouTube channel. And the first video I see is dark ways to make any girl submissive. Before I even clicked on the video, I was already terrified.
What makes a woman submit is not something that society will ever tell you. Why? Because modern media and feminism both have evil agendas. They want women to rise up and men to submit. They say they want equality, but what they're really aiming at is dominance.
Nigga, No.
Dre says that the first thing is making a woman believe that you have options, but then says this.
I'm not saying to exercise your options. What I am saying is to be so devoted and so invested in your own girl that she knows deep down any woman would be lucky to have you as their man. See the difference? The weasel guy likes to brag to his girl that he has options, while the king has options but likes to brag about how much he adores his girl.
Then you don't actually have any options. Right? If you choose your partner and you love them, then yeah, I expect you to adore them and make them feel like the luckiest person in the world. He's essentially saying that guys need to be nice to their partners. If I didn't read the title, I'd think he was like trying to gaslight a bunch of guys into just being respectable people. Dre has infiltrated the Matrix to like make all these guys think they're being these big like Sigma bros or whatever when they're actually just giving the bare minimum of like being a decent human being.
Make yourself attractive to other women. Right away, I know that sounds like a little off kilter, a little weird. Imagine if you were not attractive to other women. Imagine.
Done. Do you think this is a joke, Dre?
Think about if the roles were reversed. Have you ever had a good-looking guy who just couldn't keep his eyes off your girl? What'd you do? Be honest, what'd you do? If I were to make a bet, you'd probably hold your girl in, maybe put your arm around her, just kind of indicating that, nah, bro, she's mine. This is my property, right?
And nothing says you love and adore your girlfriend like calling her your property. I think he's trying to say that other women desiring you will make your own partner desire you even more, which will make her more submissive to you, I guess. Anyone I've ever been in a relationship with that saw somebody else desiring me probably would have, you know, unalived some people that night. Hey, how's it going? No, stop. Don't. What? What's wrong? My girlfriend's here. She's just in the bathroom. Oh, I'm so sorry. I had no idea. No, you don't understand. It's too late. She's already after both of us. Now he talks about like how awful modern dating culture is. Probably is thinking about how you should be dating their dads instead. But there's a part where he gives advice on how to like romance your partner, and they sound pretty normal at first. Leaving sweet notes, planning a surprise date, like planning a picnic with all their favorite snacks, things that are actually nice to do. But then he gets to the last one.
Number 5, of course, as the relationship progresses, then you can be a little more risque, is that how you say it? As long as it doesn't lead to sin. But like for instance, you could grab your phone and text her and be like, hey, can't wait to see those big old beautiful dimples. Send. Oh crap, I meant to say dimples. Stupid autocorrect.
I would pay a certain amount of money to never have to see that again. I think in all of these, he's so just like directed towards what he's talking about, or stoic, if you will. I've never seen him crack as much as a smirk before, so hearing him try to like laugh, just it's jarring, if I'm being honest. Oh, and then before we're out of this video, we just gotta hit it one last time.
She acknowledges that she is first a child of God's and her body is his property before it is yours.
I don't even have a joke this time. I just wanted you to hear him say it again. So now that we know all the dark and sexy ways to manipulate a woman into giving us a chance before we inevitably ruin their lives, we need to know the degenerate habits they have that we should avoid.
Today I'm going to be going all in. I'm 100% gonna be stepping on some toes. I might even offend you. Hopefully I offend you.
That's not what I want to hear when someone's giving me advice. Okay, man, I am here to help you and I'm going to do everything I can, but I am going to offend you. What? Look, I'm gonna call you a slur because that's gonna teach you how to be a real man.
How about lately I've been seeing men literally give up, offer their wives to other men. Now, open marriage is healthy, right? And it actually improves your relationships. It improves overall well-being. They can say that, right? But I'm the misogynist, not the guy who's passing his wife around like a piece of meat.
So let me get this straight, okay? 2 consenting adults can make whatever choices they want with their life. And, you know, that's fine. But as soon as I start referring to my wife as property multiple times in multiple videos for some reason, that's suddenly I'm a misogynist. Yes. Now, skimming ahead a little bit, there was this part where Dre talks about like the media and culture and all that stuff again, and I finally got the confirmation I was looking for.
And when you tune in, when you listen to their music, when you inject their thoughts into your mind, it desensitizes you. There is a demonic spirit attached to it. And then you see them promote things like LGBTQ, Black Lives Matter. I fell for that BLM movement so hard. I was literally giving money to it on a monthly basis, thinking I was helping, when in reality, I was giving to the same people that were later charged with human trafficking, prostitution, and not only that, millions of dollars were being used for funding transgender districts.
There's a lot to unpack here. I think the first thing he's referring to is in 2016, there was a BLM activist that got arrested for trafficking. As far as I can tell, all ties were severed and he has no association with them anymore. I'm sure there's some like deep state conspiracy somewhere that BLM is like a front for, you know, satanic rituals and all that other shit. And if there's not a conspiracy, I find it weird that Dre just saw like one instance of someone being a bad person and then like walked away from the entire organization. You know, I was donating and trying to support a good cause, but you had one person out of billions that ended up being a bad person. So now I don't think I like black people that much. Oh yeah, and also
millions of dollars were being used for funding transgender districts.
What the ever-loving fuck is that? What are you talking about? I can't even make a joke about how dumb you sound because of how dumb you sound.
When it comes to Jesus, I can get so furious, so disgusted at people who dishonor my Lord and Savior.
Really? Then you should totally check out my channel. Got a whole playlist I think you would love. Now, something that really catches me off guard about him is that he sprinkles in like decent advice with all of the other crazy shit he's saying. Like the last thing he says in this video is how you need to like stand your ground and, you know, support your cause with full confidence, otherwise people aren't really going to listen to you, which is a decent piece of advice, I think. You know, another good piece of advice is showing your partner unconditional love. Then he starts saying that women are property that are either owned by God or their father or you. Pick your poison, ladies. Something I'm trying to figure out after watching these is where he fits in with all of, like, the other weirdos. He disagrees with the Andrew Tate archetype where you sleep with copious amounts of women. You know, he supports, like, being in a strong relationship that can eventually lead into marriage that has two loving people. You're also saying that women are degenerate hoes that, you know, can't be a good partner unless they give up any semblance of a personality to submit to a man. Dre Drexler is really the one with all of the answers, and that is why he is selling them all in a masterclass. Yeah, I found that in his bio, and I did not expect to have to read an entire fucking book to figure out what it was. So he has this list of everything that his masterclass covers, which is all stuff that he talks about for free already on YouTube and TikTok, which, by the way, he claims is information that's valued at over $2,000. Well, don't worry, because he's giving a pretty great discount. So he claims it's valued at $2,200 something, but then he's only charging $98 for it. Comparative to the original cost, that's definitely a steal, you know? According to my very real, you know, professional math brain calculations, this course should cost $2. Actually, negative $2. You should pay me to take this course, Dre. Of course, he's preying on like these insecure men who feel like the entire world is against them, and, you know, instead of finding a positive role model in their lives that'll just teach them to be able to healthily convey and feel their emotions and have like mature connections with people and, you know, healthily communicate whenever they have a problem and have, you know, healthy routes to be able to fix them. Dre just comes in and says, hey man, you're not the problem, all right? All these contentious hoes are. So here's how you make them your property. Tap into your masculine energy and be stoic AF. I still wish this was a situation where he was like tricking men into watching these red pill style videos, but was just giving like actual good advice. All right, gentlemen, so today we're going to learn how to properly call out your homeboy when they say something that implies they're unsafe to be around the only woman at this party. All right, guys, now I need you to imagine this scenario, all right? Now, say you've started seeing somebody and things are going great. Now, it's been a few months, you're talking about getting more serious, maybe she's asking you to meet the family. The day finally comes, you get to meet the family, and then you lock eyes with her father. You know, he's a very handsome, good-looking guy, in really good shape, has a great job, obviously, you know, cares for and loves his family a lot. And the more you're talking out in the backyard while dinner's getting ready, you realize you and him have a lot in common. You know, you and him like the same sports teams, you have the same exercise routines, you even have like, let's say, a shared love for pickleball. And you realize that whole time you didn't even think about her once because all you were focused on was getting to know this really great guy in front of you. And then at dinner, it just doesn't feel the same sitting next to her when you feel like you should be sitting next to the guy across the table. And you might have some confusing feelings in your head and you're wondering what you need to do. So I'm here to tell you, you need to leave that contentious bitch and fuck her dad and submit to a real man that's going to give you some actual direction in your life. And with that, I think I'm going to wrap it up for today. Well, thank you all so much for watching the video. Make sure you leave a like on this video and comment down below if you enjoyed it or if you have any topics that you might want me to cover in the future. And I wanted to, again, thank you so much for 1,000 subscribers. I genuinely, I know I said it before, but it really means a lot to me. I never really expected anything to come out of just finding a hobby that I'm passionate about, so knowing that you know, all of you enjoy what I do, really just, it makes me happy. Promise I've got good things coming in the future. I'm going to keep making videos for better and worse. So I really hope y'all will stick with me through it. Thank you all again for watching. Stay safe out there, and I will see you next time. Peace out, everyone.
Measure up overnight, spending time with somebody I don't know. I wanna stay for a while. I wanna move your way. No, the roof might cave in. All of these snakes in the wild. I'm about to lose my brain. Tell me who gon' save me.
Passion.